Brennan Malone from IMG Academy High School in Florida. Compensation for Patrick Corbin leaving us. Another good pick, good starter, a good pitcher. And then with our 34th pick, compensation for Pollock not re-signing with us and leaving for the Dodgers. Our first pick out of a college, out of Ball State, right-hander Dre Jameson. I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but he's the only one we're guaranteed to actually have. Or not guaranteed, but most likely. And then our next pick, 56th pick in the MLB draft, Oregon right-hander Ryan Nelson, who was their closer, but who was Oregon's closer. So lots of pitching being picked in this draft. Would have liked to see some more outfielders, but our 74th pick in the draft, Tommy Henry out of Michigan, a left-hander, and the 75th pick, Dominic Fletcher, outfielder out of the University of Arkansas. So two more good picks, but so that was just the first two rounds, and then moving into our third round, 93rd pick in the draft, Tristan English, first baseman out of Georgia Tech. Fourth round pick, 122nd in the draft, Glenn Allen Hill Jr., shortstop out of Santa Cruz High School in California. Fifth round pick, 152nd, Connor Grames, pitcher out of Xavier. And then our sixth round pick, 182 in the draft, Andrew Saalfrank, pitcher out of Indiana. Seventh round pick, 212, Spencer Brickhouse, first baseman out of East Carolina, who just got knocked out of the road to Omaha last night, almost getting no hit. But our eighth round pick, 242nd, Dominic Canzone, outfielder out of Ohio State. Ninth round pick, Bobby A., right-handed pitcher out of Cal Poly. And then 10th round pick, 302nd in the draft, Oscar Santos, a catcher out of Puerto Rico. But in related news, we also picked a player out of ASU, a catcher, Lyle Lynn, in the 14th round, 422nd pick. But yeah, so overall a strong draft, a lot of pitching. In 4 or 5 years, we'll have too much pitching, then we'll know how to deal with if everyone develops right. But yeah, just a whole lot of pitching. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure it was evenly split between left-handed pitchers and right-handed pitchers, which we don't really have any left-handed pitchers on our roster right now. I'm pretty sure we have TJ McFarland, or I think it's Jimmy Sherfy, Andrew Chafin, and Robbie Ray are our only left-handed pitchers that we have. But yeah, overall a strong draft with 8 picks in the first 75. There's not a lot you can really mess up. They did take a lot of high school picks, which there's a lot of risk with that. They don't have to sign with you, but they also have more time to develop in the minor leagues. They might not sign, but if you think they're even with a college player, they have even more time to develop down in your minor league system. But if they don't sign, of course, we have to worry about that. I don't think there's anything to worry about there, but first round picks most likely sign most of the time if they're out of high school. Would have liked to see some more college picks. With so many picks, you don't want to lose a lot. but overall pretty good in my opinion, draft-wise. Okay, so heading off into another segment, I personally, with the trade deadline approaching 2 months away at the end of July, there's a lot of stuff I would like to see them do, and I think would be smart for them to do. But the Diamondbacks have been at the center of a lot of trade rumors, with being right in the middle between a rebuild and trying to actually do something. But the MLB page recently released a few trade ideas, two of which had the Diamondbacks involved. But one of the trades is Zach Greinke to the Cardinals, which I personally would not like to see. I don't want them to have Goldschmidt and Greinke, but they said that one of their only prospects that wouldn't be available is third baseman Nolan Gorman, which would be their number one prospect, and they said he's likely the only untouchable one. They also mentioned that the Cardinals have lots of minor league depth, and there's a lot of prospects we could go for there. Personally, there's other stuff I would rather them do, but another potential trade is David Peralta to the Athletics, which I don't want to see. I don't think we should trade Peralta, unless we can get in a crazy good deal for him. They mentioned the A's need a big push to stay as a contender for the playoffs, but I'm not really sure there. They said that they likely won't trade their top prospects, but their number 1 and number 9 prospects might work out good. Outfielder Jameson Hanna and third baseman Sheldon Noose. But personally, I would like to see the Diamondbacks trade with the Rays, if they're going to trade Greinke at all. Which, if they're going to trade Greinke, they're likely going to have to hold on to a lot of his contract in general. But the Rays have a lot of good pitching prospects, and if I could just look them up real quick. The Rays have a lot of depth at pitching, and they're also pushing for a run at the playoffs. Currently, they're tied for the lead in the division with the Yankees, and of course, the Red Sox have been trying to make a comeback. Recently, one of their number 2 prospect fractured a bone in his arm during a bullpen session, but just taking a look at their top 15 pitching prospects real quick. They have a lot of depth at pitching. I don't think the rest of their depth is really that. I don't think their farm system has much to offer other than bullpens and arms in general, but they have a lot of pitching I'd like to see the Diamondbacks get. I think Archie Bradley personally needs to go. Every year, the last few years, we've talked about him being our potential closer, and even I've seen a few people that want him to be want him to join the starting rotation again, which I don't want to see. If he can't throw one good inning, I'd hate to see him trying to go 5. With so much starting pitching depth, there's a lot of pitchers I'd like to see them get. Matthew Liberatore, Shane Baz, Shane McClanahan. Personally, I could see them shipping off the Diamondbacks. I could see them shipping off Greinke, Bradley, maybe even Robbie Ray if the price is right. I don't think many people are untouchable on this team, but They're also should be looking for outfielders, of which the Rays have a little bit to offer. We're not going to be getting anything too crazy, considering Zach Greinke's already, I think, is he 36 or is he 35? Zach Greinke is... doesn't say. Greinke's only 30, well, not only 35, but he is 35. He's pretty old for a starting pitcher. He's having a very good year this year, and I could see them trading him if he makes the All-Star game. But, overall, a pretty good year for him so far. A 2.87 ERA in 14 games. All 14 games this year he started. 87 innings of work. Only given up 29 runs. 28 earned runs. 14 walks on the whole year. 82 strikeouts. It's a very good ratio of walks to Ks, but I could see him trading him. 2 more years left on his contract, $35 million a year. I could see them taking up half of his contract, maybe a little less. But I definitely think a big part of the rebuild, if they trade Goldschmidt, they're not going to have any problem trading Greinke. There's a lot of places I'd like to see him traded for, because they have just really strong prospects. In general, I think he's had a long career, 15 years. This is 15th, this is his 16th year. He's thrown 2,750 innings, and he's pitched for 4 different teams. I definitely could see a 5th team in his future, his last year of his contract. I'd like to see him go this year if they're going to trade him at all. But just a lot of stuff that they can do, a lot of potential trades. And then I would also like to mention again that All-Star voting is open, and to make sure that you vote for all your Diamondbacks. There's a lot of Diamondbacks that I could actually realistically see making it. I could see Ketel Marte making it, David Peralta, Zach Greinke. They're all good pitchers. I could definitely see. I mean, not good pitchers, good players. I could definitely see making it. And I could also see Eduardo Escobar being one of the final vote candidates. I don't think he's going to make it. Third base is just too strong for him to make it just straight off. But I'm just going to go through and fill out the bracket just in general. And so for second base, I'm going to start there. Ketel Marte I can see easily being the NL second baseman. He should be. And Tommy La Stella has been having a oddly good year this year. At first base, I could see it's a strong position, but I think Josh Bell has to be in there. And for the AL, I have to go with I'm just gonna say Luke Voit.